The current heatwave is a devastating cycle of cause and effect. Forest fires in Alaska and within the Arctic Circle haven't just been caused in part by global warming, they're also contributing to it. Vast swathes of woodland are burning in northern extremes in Russia, the US and Canada. An unprecedented wave of destruction in highly ecologically sensitive regions of the planet. The fires have emitted more carbon dioxide than recorded in any other previous year. Rough numbers estimate the smoke covers an area of about 2 million square kilometres. And elsewhere, another striking impact of the searing heat. Flood water from a melting glacier in the Alps surging through a town in Switzerland. It's a dramatic illustration of an effect of warming witnessed across the Alps. Year on year, glaciers are receding at an increasing rate. Experts say little can be done to prevent the melting, the full consequences yet unknown. Neil O'Reilly, Euronews.
Well, 100 intense fires, in fact, estimated more than 100 intense fires have ignited in the Arctic Circle since June. Earlier we spoke to Mark Parrington. He's a senior scientist with Copernicus, that's the EU's observatory on Earth. This is what he told us.
Hello, Alex. Yeah, that's right. We've been seeing wildfires occurring in the Arctic Circle since about the second week of June. And whilst we might expect to see some fire hotspots and some fire detections in the Arctic Circle during the summer months, it's quite unusual to see so many at once in any time of the summer, but particularly starting in June and persisting really for the last 6 weeks or so.
Now, Mark, I've been following your Twitter account, as many people have. You've been sharing almost hourly updates on the situation. And one of the really interesting things is, of course, these fires themselves pose a huge risk and huge problem when it comes to CO2 emissions.
That's right, yeah. So CO2 is one of many pollutants that are released by wildfires and vegetation fires. The CO2 is particularly striking because it's a parameter we can compare then against fossil fuel emissions from different countries. And indeed, we estimated for June alone about 50 megatons of CO2, equivalent to, say, the fossil fuel emissions from Sweden for 2017. And we've seen similar numbers. In fact, we've seen more to about 60 or 70 megatons for July so far. So this is quite high value.
Now, so the Arctic is warming at twice the rate of other areas in the world. So, I mean, looking at this is your specialty here. When people see wildfires in the Arctic, it really gets people concerned. Tell us about the direction of travel. What is happening to this region?
That's right. You think the Arctic is a remote place, is a pristine environment. So when you mentioned that there are wildfires occurring there, it is concerning. It's difficult to say whether this is now part of a bigger trend for that part of the world. We have 17 years now of data based on satellite sensors looking at global wildfires. And there was a period of about 10 years where there was very little fire activity in the Arctic Circle. The last 3 to 4 years, we've started to see slightly increasing activity and estimated emissions from that part of the world. But this year has been quite exceptional compared to those. But there's a lot of interannual variability. A lot can change. And we'll have to wait and see next year if this is a continuing trend.
Mark Parrington there, speaking to us from Copernicus.